This is going to be fun. We are going to talk about some of the sellers' things to do and not to do when they're selling their home. We're going to talk about some of the most top annoying things that sellers will do in order to try to sell their home. Sellers like to be present when a buyer comes. They know this buyer is going to be there at 3 o'clock, and rather than to leave, they will stick around the house. They will follow the buyer. They kind of lurk around the property. If the buyer goes into one room or goes out into the yard, they like to follow them along and kind of point out these different features. Whereas if they would leave that to the realtor, make a list with the realtor of what are the most important things they would like for her or him to talk to the buyer about, and then leave. Because the buyer feels so uncomfortable, so intimidated when the seller is there. But the seller thinks, no, this is my number one asset. I'm not gonna leave and just have everybody here while I'm not here. I wanna watch and see that everything's safe. Well, Mr. Seller, it probably would be a lot better if you would just put cameras all over. And then you can watch and see what's happening, and you could probably get a much better view from get the whole yard, the whole property from the cameras than if you were right there making the buyers uncomfortable. Because, I've seen buyers walk. Sellers, when they are there, they make the buyers feel very uncomfortable. And I've seen buyers several times just say, okay, I think we're done now, let's go, thank you very much. And they leave. I'm not lying. I've seen it happen several times. So, sellers, this is just something we need to talk about is relax, let your realtor do it, and let her show the property, and don't stay and bother the buyers. Leave! Just get off the property and leave! It's so much better if you'll do that. Okay, let's next talk about how to depersonalize our house. You're going to take down all personal items, all your family photos, all your trophies, all your awards, all of that. Anything that's personal, take it down, put it in a box. As you go through your kitchen, make sure there's no sponge on the kitchen counter, on the sink, no paper towel dispensers or holders, nothing. There should be nothing left on that kitchen counter. And as you go through the laundry, no laundry, not even any laundry dispenser, soap dispensers. Get rid of it. Put it under the sink. You just want it clean and nothing there. Go into the bathroom, and that bathroom counter should be nothing on that bathroom counter. Towels should be all put away. We don't even want towels hanging. Just put them away. Make sure the toilet seat lid is down. And what's that in the corner? A toilet brush? You don't want that there. That's gross. I know we need it, but it's gross to be sitting out there. Put it away. Put it under the counter. So you want your house to look, as people to go through your house, you want them to look and think that nobody lives there. The best compliment for you, seller, is if somebody says, does somebody live here? That's the best thing that you could hear from a seller. It means your house is depersonalized, it's clean. And make sure that when you go into the kitchen, we didn't talk about the kitchen, you open that oven, make sure that it's a clean oven. It's not grimy, something that you're going to be ashamed of. And as they go open the refrigerator, make sure that it's clean. It's not full of junk. Are they going to see it just crammed full of produce you've just come from the store, and some of it is smelly and stinky, and there's Ziploc bags with juice in them and stuff? Take all that stuff out of there. Put it in little clear glass storage containers that stack nicely in there. Clean out your refrigerator and have it be a nice experience. When they open that, it's very clean and there's no smells. And above all, when they reach for that handle on the fridge, make sure it's clean. There is nothing that grosses me out more than to grab onto a handle, whether it's mine or anybody else, and hasn't been cleaned, and you feel flour maybe from the night before's cooking or whatever, but it's not clean. Make sure that handle is always clean, especially when you've got buyers coming through your house. It's very important. The cleanliness is very important. Next thing I want to talk about is pets on the property. When people come to look at your house, make sure your pets are gone. I know we love our pets, but you know, some people might be allergic to cats. I've had that experience before. And the cats are there and people cannot stand it. Some are mildly allergic and some are very allergic. I showed property that people go into a house, there were cats, they turned around and came right out and they says, "I'm sorry, I am so allergic to cats. I can't even go into a house where there's cats," because their eyes start burning immediately. So let's get our cats, our dogs, whatever pets we have out of the house when buyers are coming through our house, because it makes a difference. Don't even have your dog tied up in the backyard. Make sure it's gone. It's very offensive to some buyers to have animals there because they will leave. I'm just telling you that. I know they will leave. I've seen them do that. Okay, we'll talk about paint. If you paint your house, don't paint it beige, don't paint it gray, don't paint it green, paint it white. I'm telling you, believe me, paint it white. You'll thank me later. Buyers can always add color to what they have, but they need to have it white. It just does so much more. They can do anything. People walk in and they see a clean white house. It just is very important. So make sure that your house is painted white and you'll be happy. When taking pictures of your house, make sure your house is decluttered. Make sure the window blinds are open wide. Make sure that there's no cords laying around, that your house is very clean. Your pictures that you have online in your MLS that they show, you hire somebody to come in and take pictures. That is your best marketing strategy that you will find. It's the pictures online, because no matter what advertising, people are going to look the MLS up and look for your house, and those pictures that you have are the best marketing strategy that you can have. So make sure that you pay attention. Okay, some of the other things that we want to talk about in selling our house, things to do and not to do. We want to make sure that all of our smoke detectors that are 10 years and older are gone out of the house, and you have new ones to replace those. It's very important to be sure, write the date down of installation on that. And then also your light bulbs, make sure all your light bulbs are shining and bright and there's none that need to be replaced at all. And area rugs, let's talk about area rugs. Sometimes if there's a lot of little area rugs, it can hurt the flow from the room. So make sure that you take the little area rugs out of the way and just leave some of the bigger ones there. And also in the bedrooms is where usually there are Roman shades, sometimes in the dining room. But wherever you have Roman shades or blinds, you know, the little strings that hang down from there, sometimes they can get unruly and just kind of flip around. And if you'll just take those and tie them up and tuck them behind the curtain, that will look so much nicer as you're showing your house to people. So something else that's very important, if you have anything on your walls or hanging from your ceiling that you want to keep, take them down now and put them away. Because I did that once before to have a house sell. It wasn't my house, I was just doing a favor. And of course, they saw that elk chandelier. It was beautiful, and I had bought it at a good price. I got it from myself, but I agreed to let it go so there wouldn't be any problems with the house sale. So if you have anything that you really would like to keep that's on the wall or sitting around the house, just take it down, pack it up, put it away so we don't have to deal with arguing with the buyer, because many times buyers will see things and they want that. They just decide that's what they want, and that's what they use for their negotiating things. So be sure about packing things up. Also, neutral is the way to go. In your bedrooms, it's much better to have neutral when you're showing your house rather than your favorite bedspread you saw that was brightly colored. You know, you can go to Amazon or probably Wayfair or TJ Maxx, any of these places that sell decorative things, and order some neutral coverlets. That way you can throw these bed coverings over your bedspread. You can keep the bedspread you want, but while you're showing it, put this coverlet over the bed that's a neutral color, and it will look so much better. Another thing we want to talk about is we want to make sure that everything we have is operable. That if there's anything that's not operable, get rid of it and replace it. We just don't want people to be unhappy. So those are some of the things that we need to think about. Some of the things that we need to do to offset that is make sure that the things in our house, our yard, are done exceptionally nice so people will notice it. Take, for instance, outside. Make sure that you trim your trees nice and they're not a bunch of scraggly, unkept ends around. There's a lot of dead branches that can be kept out or taken out. On your fence. Say there's a fence between you and your neighbor and it needs some attention. Talk to your neighbor and see if he will help you with the cost of fixing that. Paint your fence, make it just look really nice, because those are things that's going to draw attention to your house. Also the gutters. Gutters are very important. Make sure those are clean. They're not hanging over with all kinds of junk, because when that happens, they get plugged up and water backs up and there's water intrusion. So it's just part of taking care of our house and making sure that our yard, our fence, everything about our house looks very nice. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this. We've learned a lot tonight, but I do have a special secret that I've been waiting to tell you. And this is for sellers. You know, when you go to sell your house and you know you've got buyers coming through, it's just a really nice idea, is just before they get there, if you can arrange it, to bake some cookies and have the smell of those fresh baked cookies coming in the house when your buyers walk in. It's nice, even if you had a plate of cookies there, to have a little sign say free, take one. It means so much. My mother taught me that when I was young, and she sold a lot of houses, and that was one of the big things that she always made sure of, was to have the house smelling exceptionally good with fresh baked goodies. One time when I was showing a house, some people had a bread maker, and they had it set on time so that it would bake and be done just before I showed up with my buyers. Oh my word, we wanted to tear into that bread. We wanted to find some butter and tear into there and get that fresh baked bread. It smelled so tremendously good. And so did the cookies. So I just want you to know, emotionally and anything else, when somebody walks in and they smell your house with fresh baked goodies, it just does something to them, makes them remember your house. So remember that. And one other little tip that my mom told me was, she says, if you don't have time to bake and you don't have whatever it takes to bake there, even if you'll take some vanilla and put it on a hot burner, it'll smell. And I've done that and it works. It smells like you're baking something. So isn't that a fun, simple treat to tell you, because it does work and people will remember your house. Thank you. This has been really fun. I've enjoyed it. I hope you folks have too, and we've learned a lot.